Hello everyone, this is Jerry and welcome back to part 13 of this mini-series for ESO. Today we will be wrapping up the main quest for Western Skyrim and possibly getting into the intro for the Reach or the Markarth chapter of Greymoor. So let's head on into the Hall of the Dead. See what's going on here.
Ha! Good to see you aren't raising mugs with Ysmir just yet.
We saw the storm break, but we heard nothing since you departed from Blackreach.
Well, Jarl.
I regret we didn't throw a parade to welcome you back, but I'll cheer enough for 100 souls if you tell me you put that backbiter of a High King to the sword. But what of Svanna? Is she?
Svanna's alive, but I can't say the same for the High King.
That's good, but a daughter shouldn't have to kill her own father. Svanna has my support, for whatever that's worth. She's going to need all the help she can get in the days to come.
So Svanna's the queen now.
Not until we hold a moot to support her claim, and we need more than a single Jarl for that to occur. If Svanna proves herself as the acting Jarl, they might look past her father's failings and make her the queen, eventually.
She's proven capable so far.
We can settle the matter of the crown when there's kingdom enough to rule. What remains of the holds are still ravaged by the Harrowstorms, and I doubt we've seen the last of the Grey Host, for that matter.
No, I'm sure. Any word from your hold?
None good, but none bad either. My wife knows better than anyone how to care for our people. I trust she and my Thane to protect and care for Morthal in my absence.
Well, I hope they are doing alright. Y'all Redharn. Sword Thane.
We seem to have survived, thank the gods. I thought for certain we were all about to witness the end of the world.
It looks like Solitude weathered the storm.
No thanks to Svargrim, damn his eyes. After you and the princess went off to Blackreach, I gathered whoever we could and made our stand here in the Hall of the Dead. I'm just glad we don't have to be permanent residents.
So, no major casualties?
Far fewer than I feared when the storm began. Thanks to you and the princess. With the storm over and the Grey Host driven from Castle Dour, my soldiers will get the city back into shape. As long as no one else attacks us in the meantime.
I'll leave you to it then.
They're here! They're at the gates!
The Grey Host? I thought we were done with them for now.
Not the Grey Host! The Skald King with an army from the east!
What treachery is this?
To the gates. We'll give the Skald King a proper welcome, one way or another.
Alright, well, that's awkward considering my Nord is a part of the Ebonhard Pact, so let's see what the Skald King has to say. I hope it's nothing bad, nothing saying, oh, you need to go to the Reach.
Stand down, you idiots! We come in peace.
Partner, could really use your knack for diplomacy right now. Speak to the Skald King before we start a war.
Sure save me from fools and prophets. Will no one properly greet a weary traveler?
I mean, I am honored to see you here, Yoren. Prince Ernskar.
I know that there's little love between East and West, but now's not the time to be picking a fight.
What are you and Skald King Yoren doing here?
Lyris's report on the rise of Grey Host had my father preparing for the worst. When we hadn't received word for some time, he decided to intercede.
If we hadn't stopped Svargrim, that might have been necessary.
Svargrim. It's hard to believe the rumors were true. I didn't know him well, but I can't understand how anyone could throw away everything for the promise of power. What's immortality worth if there's nothing you hold dear?
Will your father attempt to take Svargrim's place here?
You'd have to ask him. As far as I can tell, the Western holds are in chaos. They could use a king who cares for his fellow Nords. But if the welcome we've received here is any indication, Solitude won't see it that way.
I'll speak to King Yoren then. Your Majesty.
You don't look like one of these Western milk drinkers. Tell them we're not a damn invasion. We're here to help. Maybe you can tell me what's going on.
The Grey Host was behind the attacks on Western Skyrim, High King Svargrim. We had to kill him.
So the rumors are true? Svargrim joined the Grey Host? I knew he had ambitions, but to throw away his humanity like that, it's inconceivable. Svargrim once told me that he would die before welcoming me to Solitude. I suppose he was right.
The Grey Host caused a lot of damage. These people could use your help.
That's why I sent Lyris here in the first place. I'm not the king of these holds, though. I can't do anything if they refuse my help. Svargrim despised me. He would never accept my aid. But Svanna... here she comes now. Let's see what she has to say.
Whatever you think, King Yoren.
We have no need of help that involves welcoming your soldiers within our walls.
My walls, Jarl. My father may have been willing to slap aside the helping hand, but I'm not. Permit me a word with your envoy, Skald King. Thank you for holding the line, I mean. I'm ready to do what I should have done a long time ago. To do what my father never could. I'll speak with the Skald King. There's one more thing I'd like you to do while I entertain our guests.
What do you need?
We saved Solitude, but our war with the Grey Host is far from over. We need Fenn's elixir more than ever. With that, and King Yoren's help, we might just push these monsters back into their grave for good. Check on Fenn's progress, please.
Anything else?
That depends on Fenn. If there's anything standing in his way, let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to get him what he needs.
I'll speak with Fenn.
Fenn is with old Mjolnir at the Mages Guild. When you're finished with him, join me in the courtyard of the Blue Palace. I'm going to hold a moment of remembrance for this city. We all need a moment to mourn what we lost.
What about your guests?
I'm going to invite the Skald King to join us. If the people of Solitude see him bow his head along with the rest of us, they may not care about the divide between the East and the West.
Alright, I will go seek out Fenn, Svanna. Off to the Mages Guild. I just wonder if the divide between the East and West can be mended if, you know, Svanna takes the crown. I mean, I don't know if that's something we would see in this DLC, but I guess we would just have to wait and see on that one. Alright. Let's head on in and find Fenorian. Wherever he is. Probably upstairs or downstairs.
Ingenious.
Oh.
A rare thing to find an elf with the makings of a clever woman.
Despite what my kin might proclaim, it's not all in the blood. Ah, good, you're here. We've made a breakthrough.
Have you?
I was just discussing a theory with Mjolnir, and it seems like we're very close to turning this elixir into a true restorative.
Meaning what?
A cure. Singolis's research on the Netherroot showed me just how it weakens the connection between a body and soul. Thus far, I've been able to inure a person to the root, but now I'm certain I can use that knowledge to heal those weakened bonds.
How quickly can you produce this cure?
Well, it is just a theory at this point. There's a lot more testing and experimentation to be done before we can produce a viable antidote. Weeks, optimistically?
Svanna needs your elixir now. She asked me to make sure everything is going smoothly.
I know. We can't simply put things on hold. Mjolnir and I have a batch brewing right now, and materials to keep producing for another day. Ingert's promised us a steady supply of Arcase oil, but that's not our limiting factor.
What's the problem then?
We know enough about Singolis's refinement processes to replicate his methods, but we still need a source of netherroot to do so. Tell Svanna that if she can keep us supplied, we can produce enough elixir for all the holds in a matter of weeks.
Any idea on where we can get netherroot?
We can ransack Greyhost's stockpiles, or mount an expedition into Blackreach. Otherwise, it would take decades of work to produce a proper crop. After we get the elixir squared away, we'll turn our attention to curing the Herald.
Did Singolis's note tell you about the Grey Reliquaries and the stone husks?
Indeed. As I surmised, the Grey Reliquaries contained the remains of ancient Greyhost warriors. They served as a connection to the souls trapped in Cold Harbor. Using the energy from the Harrowstorms, the souls were pulled into the stone husks.
And what was the purpose of the stone husks?
I believe the stone husks are incubators of a sort. The physical forms of the Grey Host are reincorporated within the stone vessels, through a mix of Singolis's alchemy and sorcery, and the magic of the Ice Reach witches. When whole, they burst free.
Alright then. Interesting. Once again, I am hitting Alt instead of Shift.
It will end us.
That is a very big... Kind of reminds me of the ethereal crystals down in Blackreach. And I mean, it could very well be that, I don't know.
Well?
One day I will learn not to hit Alt.
I was hoping you'd return before we began. Tell me you've got good news. I'll feel a lot better delivering a speech about healing and hope, knowing that we're on the road to recovery. What did Fen have to say about the elixir?
They're making it as we speak, but he says they'll need more netherroot soon.
Not the best news, but I'll take it. So long as we have enough to protect our soldiers, we have a fighting chance against the Grey Host. I'll go to the Undergrove myself if that's what it takes.
Fen also believes he can make a cure for the Harrowed.
Now that would be cause for celebration. If he can really bring back even a fraction of those we lost to the Harrowstorms, I'm willing to try. That's all I needed to hear. We should begin the ceremony before the crowd grows more restless.
What do you have planned?
Nothing fancy. Just a traditional Nord wake. To mourn and celebrate those we've lost, and cherish the lives we still have. I'd like you to join us.
Very well then.
None of us would be here to sing dirges for the dead or celebrate the living if not for you. I certainly wouldn't be here, ready to lead my hold. You've supported me since I started down this path. I'm honored to have you here at the end.
And I am honored to be on this journey with you, Svanna.
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, we have the honor today of remembering the dead.
Honor to the fallen!
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, our trials were fierce, but we are still here.
We stand and we remain!
Now, we raise our voices to tell Sovngarde of the coming of the worthy dead, and to tell the world that the Nords are still here! We are still standing!
The fallen now march home to hallowed hall, to join our ancestors in boundless drink and song and brawls. Let's sound the horns, let peal the bells, let loose the ancient hymn. We will remain until time ends, we children of Skyrim.
Interesting. Well, is that it?
I can't think of a more fitting send-off for my father than Nords of both kingdoms mourning side by side. Skyrim may be divided, but at least our honored dead are united in Sovngarde.
What are your plans going forward?
Yoren, Redharn, and I need to form a plan to distribute Fen's elixir and push back against the Grey Host. And acquire more Netherroot, it seems. There's a lot to be done, but I'm surrounded by good people. I trust we'll get through this together.
Well, I certainly hope so. Anything I can help with.
I can't leave everything to you, you know. Well, I probably could. But even Ysgramor took a rest now and again. Let us shoulder the burden for a while. I'm sure I'll need to call on you again soon enough.
Will you take over as High Queen?
I don't know. It's not important, not right now. What matters is rallying the people against the enemy, our real enemy. If that means seeking the crown, then I'll do what needs to be done.
Do you think Svargrim passed on to Sovngarde?
Sovngarde is a place for the honored dead. Svargrim gave up his seat in the Hall of Valor when he made his pact with the Ashen Lord. Wherever he is, I hope he regrets how he got there.
Oof, knowing your father, I doubt it. But beyond that, let's see who else we can chit-chat with real quick. Lyris?
I'm glad to be done with this. Diplomacy and investigation aren't my favorite pastimes. They seem to suit you, though. You stepped up to the task better than I could have hoped.
Will you be leaving Western Skyrim now?
I'll be staying so long as Joran's here. Or until I can persuade him to send me after Rada al-Saran. That leech owes a lot of blood to us, and I intend to squeeze it out of him. We have to find him first.
Do we have any leads?
Whatever his plans were after sacking Solitude, we haven't uncovered them. With any luck, the Skald King will send me on a raid of the Grey Host, and I can beat some answers out of a few of them.
Let me know if you do.
Count on it.
Let's speak with Redharn.
I hadn't had a moment to honor the fallen of Morthal since you came to my doorstep. Kind willing, they made their passage to Sovngarde.
Will you be returning to Morthal?
When things are settled here, Jarlmarch has weathered these storms better than Hafingar and Karthal. If we can keep the kingdom from complete collapse, it's worth a few weeks away from my home and hearth.
Alright then. Sword Thane.
Princess Jarl Svanna reminds me more of the Queen every passing moment. We're in good hands, I think.
Will you serve her as you did Svargrim?
I'll pledge myself to her, if she'll have me. I was fool enough to follow Svargrim as long as I did, so it's more than I deserve.
He had many fooled.
He did, but I was by his side day in and day out. If anyone should have seen what he was becoming and put a stop to it, it was me. I owe a lot to Solitude for my failure. If Svanna allows me to repay it, I'll be glad.
Well, I hope she does. And you're in.
In their own way, the people of Western Skyrim are as strong as the Nords of the East. Even after so much suffering, they still stand against the howling wind. We shall do everything within our power to help them recover.
Do you think Svanna is ready to rule Western Skyrim?
Blood alone does not make one worthy to rule a hold, let alone an entire kingdom. The princess will lead for now, but many questions must be answered before the Jarls crown a new ruler of Solitude. That's what a moot is for.
What are you going to do now, King Yoren?
If Princess Svanna agrees, I want to bring more of my people from Eastmarch to help restore Solitude and the Western Holds. My retinue is too small to deal with everything. We need more hands.
Will the people of Western Skyrim accept help from Eastmarch?
All I can do is to offer my aid in good faith. Whether they decide to grab my hand or to slap it away, that's up to them. Despite our differences, I love this land. It's as much Skyrim as my beloved Eastern Holds. I would not see it suffer.
Do you think Eastern and Western Skyrim might reconcile?
Today, no, the time isn't right. As for the future, who can say? Svargrim was never interested in finding a path to reconciliation. Princess Svanna isn't a father, that much is clear. So I suppose I can hope.
Well, we shall see. Well, we'll speak to Prince Irnscar. I am butchering that name, but...
My heart goes out to these people. We are no strangers to conflict back east, but none of our holds have been ravaged by the kind of devastation brought by the Grey Host. We are fortunate that you stopped them.
Fauna was impressive. She really stepped up when her kingdom needed her.
So I've heard. The princess has come a long way from the girl I met so long ago. And I've changed as well. I'm not quite as obnoxious and close-minded as I was when my father first formed the Ebonheart Pact. At least I try not to be.
Do you think there could finally be peace between Eastern and Western Skyrim?
If the princess remains in charge of the Western Holds, I think the chances of true reconciliation are good. My father will certainly do everything he can to make that happen. And so will I. Princess Vana. She's become a very impressive woman.
I'm sensing some sort of romance there. But maybe I'm reading too in between the lines there. I'm gonna level up now. I'll take the leather workers. Throw a point into stamina. God, I have so many points. I think I will morph that later. Definitely taking that one. I think I want to say that with the morph from this, that gives you a negative effect, the minor defile. So I think that works with that. I don't know. I'll take it anyways. Let's see. Put a point in there. Don't really have a need for any of this. Guess I can boost my health. Alright. Let's see. I believe...
I've had just about enough of this.
This is what we're looking for. That will start the quest for Markarth. I just wonder if I actually have to go there. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see.
I cannot complain, but that
What do you want?
Stop me.
You know, sometimes I forget I have a mount.
Ice heels walking the streets of
Please,
solitude?
I was once like you.
What's our hold coming to?
Oh boy.
Why couldn't the dwarf's infernal contraptions vanish along with them?
If you have any experience with tales...
I kind of wonder what the story would be like if they introduced, you know, Southern Skyrim with Whiterun and all that. Because I can't really... I don't know, not off the top of my head can I think of anything that would be super... something super that would just be like an antagonist for Southern Skyrim. Because I mean, even in the regular Skyrim game, you know, vampires were pretty populous in this area of Skyrim. So, you know, it made sense for them to do something vampire related with this. But I can't actually think of a threat that is noteworthy when it comes to Southern Skyrim. Oh, are they? Is this quest like in Mournhold? I think it might be. Let's see. No. No, it might not be. I bet you it's in Devon's Watch, probably. Let's see. Yes, it is. Well, we will try and fast travel there. There we go. We will fast travel there, and I will speak with Gwendis, and I will call the episode there. And from there, we will start the Markarth part of the Greymoor chapter. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, Markarth is actually the end of the Greymoor chapter or expansion. If I'm not wrong. Which I could be. I do not pretend to know everything because I really honestly don't. But I do try to get an understanding every now and then, so... Let's see, she's just around here. Oh, you know, I passed by this quest before off screen. Who would have known? Alright, Gwendis.
What? Saving Skyrim wasn't enough for you? Had to sign on for even more heroics? It's good to see you. I could use your help. You know better than anyone what we're dealing with. We need to figure out exactly what the Grey Host is up to.
Why is House Ravenwatch investigating the Grey Host?
The Ravenwatch is dedicated to curtailing the activities of unscrupulous vampires, and the Grey Host is as unscrupulous as they come. Someone is rebuilding the ancient army of vampires and werewolves from the First Era. We have to stop them.
How do you know all this?
Hey, I was doing stuff before you showed up. Look, there's a new Grey Host. One of their original leaders may be in charge, and they're experimenting with life energy. If that doesn't spell trouble, I don't know what does. Will you help me?
I'll help you find out more about the Grey Host.
Everything I learned up to now points in the same direction. Bankerai Garrison. There's a scholar named Norette Deal there who may be able to tell us more about the Grey Host and how they were defeated. Cart's over there when you're ready to go.
Tell me about what you learned.
My research has uncovered pieces, but I hope the scholars at the Bankerai Garrison can put the puzzle together. Members of the Grey Host experimented with life energy, and at least one of their leaders survived their defeat in the ancient past.
Why do I have a feeling that's Rada Al-Saran, but who knows? But I really do feel like he was probably one of the original members of the Grey Host. But I guess we will just have to see about that one. Anyways, tell me about the Grey Host survivor.
My research indicates a council ruled the Grey Host. One of those leaders fell out of favor and another survived the final battle. A Durrani noble with connections to Viridian Watch gave the survivor sanctuary. In return, they made her a vampire.
Tell me about the experiments with life energy.
In the ancient past, the Grey Host sought to use life energy to draw souls into containment vessels called stone husks. It had something to do with returning the dead to life. I think there's a new Grey Host, and they've revived those experiments.
Anything else I need to know before we head out?
Probably, but nothing that can't wait. Let's take the cart to the Bankerai garrison and find the scholars who can tell us more about the history of the Grey Host.
Is anyone else investigating this?
For the moment. There are an awful lot of evil conspiracies afoot in Tamriel, and not nearly enough Ravenwatch members to investigate them all. But this isn't a one-person job, which is why we recruited help.
What are the rest of the Ravenwatch doing?
No idea. They're spread out. Adusa, for example, mentioned something about necromancers raising bone giants and elsewhere, but she probably wanted to refill her moon sugar stores. Fenorian could be anywhere. He does tend to sneak around.
What do you hope to accomplish at the Bankerai garrison?
I'm hoping a scholar of ancient Bankerai battles named Lorette Deal or one of her colleagues can tell us more about the Grey Host. With any luck, they have information about the Grey Host that's not too outlandish.
What do you mean by outlandish?
The priests have this old holy text that claims St. Pelin leapt off the garrison's walls, landed among the host, asked Stendarr for endless blood, and then fed them all without dying. Then the garrison dropped some rocks on them. See? Outlandish.
So you want more reasonable answers?
Exactly. We need practical facts about how the Grey Host was defeated at Bankerai garrison. Hopefully Scholar Deal can provide them.
Well, hopefully. Guess we will see. And with that, I'm going to call the episode here with this horse stuck in the ground. But yeah, I'm going to call the episode here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all in, well, the next series, now that we have wrapped up the Western Skyrim part of the series. Anyways, I hope you all have a good day and or night, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.